Hi, it's Dr. Games, and I wanted to talk to you today about how you convert Blu-rays into DVDs. I know that many of the viewers are strictly using MP4s or other portable device codes or formats, codecs, but there are a lot of places in the world where people still use DVDs, and DVDs are easier to get a hold of at some locations than are Blu-rays. A DVD player is still generally cheaper as well. And even if you have a Blu-ray player, it will usually play DVDs for you. So this is going to talk you through the process of how you convert it. Here's an outline. And this is all going to be in demo phase, but I just want to talk you through the words first. The first thing you have to do is you got to find the Blu-ray video and evaluate it. And that's going to be important for a variety of reasons. Then we're going to demux the Blu-ray into its component parts, which are going to be the audio, the video, and the subtitles. Then we're going to convert the graphic version of the subtitles to text version of the subtitles. And then we're going to mux and render the audio, and then we're going to render the video. Then we're going to put it all back together in a DVD creator. Now, the particular programs that I'm going to use today are DB Info, HDBR Stream Extractor, BD Sup to Sub, FFmpeg, Acid Pro, and DVD Architect. When you're looking at Blu-rays and converting to DVDs, there's essentially 7 characteristics I want you to think about. The first one is frames per second. The NTSC standard is 29.97 or 30,000 divided by 1001. The PAL standard is 25 frames per second. But then you get a lot of very artistic versions. This is not true just with Blu-rays, but also with DVDs, where you get anywhere from 23 to 24 frames per second for cinematic effects. The latter category, that 23 to 24 frames per second, is where you get in trouble with trying to get audio, video, and subtitles to match up. That's really the main reason I did this video. Then I want you to look at dimensions. I'm going to be going to NTSC, which is 720 by 480. The same thing that I'm saying here applies to PAL. You just have to change some of the settings. The DVDs come from Blu-rays that are 1920 by 1080s. Subtitles, we're going to be looking at 3 types of subtitle categories today. On the audio side, Blu-rays are, they can take a whole variety of different formats or containers for audio. But the ones we're going to talk about today are either DTS or Dolby Digital. When you put those back over in DVD form, you're going to do it in either Dolby Digital, that's what I recommend, or LPCM. The Blu-rays, by the way, can also take LPCM, which is just standard wave format, uncompressed wave format. But we're going to go ahead and turn it back into Dolby Digital. On the Blu-ray side, the audio is also done at 48 kilohertz. On the DVD side, it's done at 44.1. And the big difference is between Blu-rays and DVDs is the stream size in Blu-rays is typically 25 megabits per second or higher, and you're usually only looking at 3 to 8 megabits per second on the DVD side. You're also trying to shrink the disc size, all those things up above where the right side is typically the DVD and the left side's the Blu-ray, at least for the bottom 5. The disc size for Blu-rays is often 50 or 25 gigabytes, whereas DVD is typically 8.4 and 4.7 gigabytes, so much smaller, like 1/5 the size, going from a Blu-ray to a DVD. So with that, I'm actually going to get into a demo of the techniques we're going to use for today, and I would ask you to just follow along. Thank you. Hi, it's Dr. Games, and I wanted to show you the process that we use to go ahead and turn these Blu-rays into DVDs. So the first program I'm using is BD Info, which you've seen me use before if you've seen other Gamer Skillz videos. We're looking for the characteristics of the Blu-ray video. And again, it's going to be important. So in this particular case, we have a AVC MPEG-4 encoded 1080p, not surprising. And it's 16:9, so it's widescreen and it's high profile 4.1. No surprises there. The only issue is that it's not NITSY and it's not PAL, it's theatric at 23.976 or about 24 frames per second. The Blu-ray standard really allows you to use a variety of frames per second. The problem is that most of the tools that we have some smarts built into them. And when you have assumptions built in, it means there's other things you can't do. And they usually work great with things like NITSY standard, so 29.97, or with PAL standard 25. But with this, it gets it all confused. So that's important to remember. There's a whole variety of tools that we could use if it was straight up NITSY or straight up PAL. But given that it's theatric, I'm going to take you through a very detailed process. When I say detailed, it's not complicated. There's just some steps that you might not have to take if this was a more standardized form. So we're going to not need that anymore. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to use the stream extractor, HD stream extractor. And you notice that we selected that same, well, here you can see which one we had. Oops, wrong one. Here's our Blu-ray disc. We go to the streams. We're going to give you details on them. Again, provided to us by Black Oak Studios. And this particular one, clearly the one that's, first of all, it's almost 2 hours long. Second one, it's 31 gigabytes. So that is our movie that we're going to be looking for. So once I bring that in, I just click on here, I bring it in, and then it will come up with all of the streams that are in there. And we got the chapters. Now, in this particular case, rather than bring in Matroski, I found it's better to bring it in as straight up 264 format, AVC 264. There's just the right number of B, I, and pyramid frames in there that allow us to process it. Also for DTS, I don't do DTS. I do. There are a lot of programs now in the last probably 3 or 4 years that can use DTS, but as I talked about in a previous video, it's less common than you think. You can do some things with FFmpeg and some other tools as well, but I'm going to bring it out as waves and I'm going to show you why. And then you only get one choice, the SUP for that. I would just click on Q. And actually, what I would do is I'm not going to bring this out in the same, it defaults to the same place it is. I'm actually going to put it in a file called dmux. You just click on that and there you go. And you click Q. But I've already done that. So now what I'll do is I will show you what the dmux files look like. So the things that came out of that were these. It was the chapter. It was the log of what happened. And then the video in H.264 format. And again, just came in not compressed at the same level it was before. And then we get these 6, it's actually 5+1 surround sound. So we get the center, left, low frequency, right, side left, side right. And we're gonna go through those in a second. So the next thing we're going to want to do, and then we've got the subtitles in subform, and you can see that that was done before some of these other things. So now what I do is I will use subtitle edit. We'll actually take a look at how you open that up. So we're going to go to the dmux. We're going to bring in the English subtitle. And just so you can see, we'll do details so you can see which we're going for the one that's oldest. So that would be actually this one. So that is the oldest one. We'd bring that in, and you can see it's all there now. If you have to look at your file and you have to know, so what you're seeing right now are pictures, and it's starting off with suspenseful music. What I like to do is click the following. First of all, I want to use, since it's English and US English, I'm going to make sure I'm using the right dictionary. You'd be amazed at how many times people don't use the right dictionary. Then I wanted to fix common OCR issues. I want to try to guess unknown words, and then I want to auto break if there's two or more lines. And then I'm going to prompt for unknown words. Now, in some of my previous videos, you'll have noted that I didn't prompt for unknown words. And if you do that, it goes lightning fast. The problem is that if there's errors, they end up getting propagated all the way through. So I would click that, and at the end of it, it would have all this filled in with text, and that would be in this format. And now I would save it in a couple of varieties. So first thing I would do is I would save it as because I'm going to eventually use Sony Architect, so I'll save it as a Sony Architect with line numbers. I know that that's very helpful. And that's this one shown here, English Sony Sub. And I will also save it as SRT, which is right at the top of the list. And you can see I've already done that. This anymore. And one note I want to bring up about that is you will note that I used the original subtitles out of the Blu-ray to do the transcoding, to go from the graphic to text. Why? Because they're much larger. If you do the Blu-ray ones, they're bigger, and it's easier for the program to differentiate between things like I's and T's and those types of things. So now that we've got that done, we've got our graphic to text, and then we're going to take care of our audio. And the way we're going to do that is I have a program. Now you can do this for free with FFmpeg. If somebody's interested in seeing how to use the channel feature on FFmpeg, I am delighted to show you how to do that. But in this particular case, I'm just going to use my Sony Acid Pro, which is faithful. And there's, by the way, other programs you can do this with as well, other free things. But I have it set up to be 5.1. I got the center in the center, and I got left, right, side left, side right. I changed this to LFE. The way you do that is you pick the pan type. In this particular case, I have it set up as film. That's what that is. And for this one, I just put it on LFE. I would go up to this and I would render as, and I did it as Dolby Digital, and I did it as DVD because I'm doing it as a DVD. I click that and I save it, and that's what that does. So pretty straightforward. And then the next thing we do is we'd render the video. Now, to render the video, I did in fact use FFmpeg to do that. So I will show you what that file looks like. This is a batch file which looks amazingly familiar. You've probably seen it before. So what I did is the input is the H.264 and the Dolby Digital, which is an AC3 file. I did that ARE sample async 1,000 times a second to make sure that everything was synced up. And I used the target command nitc-dvd and put it out as an MPEG file. And I did that, and that took about probably 24 minutes. And so that's the MPEG. I also converted to an MP4 because I'm going to use that. And then the only thing left to do is we put it all together in DVD Architect. And I will come back and show you that in a second. All right, and you can see what our Black Oak friends have put together. Immoral subtitle, The Danger of Beavers. As you've seen in previous videos, Gamer Skillz videos, I've got a subtitle on off, and then I've got the movie play. I didn't do the fancy one because I really just put this together strictly, and I got this the film Immoral from Black Oak because I wanted to show you guys how to do this. But it's got just a little jingle here, about a 6-second jingle that repeats. And then if you look at the movie itself, gotten the subtitles in, and the technique we used, they're perfectly in sync. They are absolutely perfectly in sync with what's going on. So, and that wouldn't necessarily be the case if we had tried to do the other things, because it would have tried to do it in either NITSI or PAL. That's typically what happens. Anyway, when we make this DVD, I want you to see, we're going to prepare it, and I want you to see how fast it goes. So that audio on track 1, the 6 seconds is going to be recompressed. Everything else is going to work out fine. And now it's looking for the subtitles, menu highlights, etc. Usually, if there's any issue whatsoever, it's because something's gone over the character count. This uses an abundance of caution. DVD Architect Pro uses an abundance of caution. So a lot of other programs would actually have no issue whatsoever, but this one does. And wow! So it went through super fast. It took the last time I did, it took 47 seconds, so pretty quick. And that's that. So at this point, you have now seen how to put together these videos from Blu-ray to DVD. If you want to see some variations on it, please put those in the comments. Otherwise, I'm going to assume that all is well and that this has met the mark. Thank you all very much, and please subscribe. Have a great day.